Okay, welcome everyone on live streaming. My name is the Director. I'm going to be joined by FTP for this game of the Maitland Roller Girls Junkyard Jerks versus Central Coast Roller Derby United Sapphires. So Sapphires have already played one game against Coff Coast Derby Dolls today. They were victorious. Maitland, this is their first game of SmackDown Reloaded tournament for this weekend. And welcome, FTP.
Well, hello, Director. How are you today?
I'm going absolutely corking because not only am I having another round of Derby commentating, but we just had another fantastic game of juniors.
We did. Wasn't it amazing? You got to call that one on house.
I
got to
called
call
that
it
one
on stream.
House. Yeah, it was so entertaining. Apex jumps, 1 foot pirouettes, backward skating. Just incredible. I think Junior Roller Derby League is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Some of those apex jumps.
Some of them, all of them.
All of them. There's a couple in particular that stand out for me. There was one that Power did up here on this corner. Massive jump. Yeah, it was an excellent game to watch. Those juniors are amazing to watch.
They certainly are. So that's a good preemptive lead into this one. We've got Central Coast Roller Derby United taking on
Maitland Roller Girls in our second women's game of the weekend.
So who's our lineup for the Junkyard Jerks?
The Junkyard Jerks from Maitland, we have Concrete Candy, Chopperweed, Pie Curious, Kill It, Doris McGee, Phoenix, Tornado, Kimmy Kaboom, Silver Beats, Slappy Gilmore, DVS, Baroness Von Brutal and Red Hot Riot. They are benched by Richie Slambora and Switchblade.
Okay, they're squaring off against the Sapphires, which are made up of Jugs, Kelvetica Bold, Madam Mischief, Prim and Bopper, Shazam, Red Tempest, Jumpin' Jack Smash, Betty Boom, White Wolf and Effin' Bitch. So we've got a pretty strong lineup on both teams here. Central Coast coming off the win earlier today against the Daughters of Mayhem, but of course they'll be a little bit tired and sore from that game, whereas Maitland
fresh into the competition today.
Yep.
First game of the weekend for Maitland. They haven't played too many public games yet. A couple against Newcastle I know of. But yeah, Maitland's a fairly new league, established last year. I've had the pleasure of coaching them on one occasion so far. That was a lot of fun and gotten to know a couple of the girls very well over the last few months. So I'm really looking forward to this call, Director.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I think we're in for a good game. Both these teams have played, well, what am I saying? Both these teams have played each other before. These teams have played each other before. And yeah, I think they've actually gone one apiece for a win. So yeah, it should be a good entertaining game. Temperature here now at Port Macquarie Indoor Stadium is about 25 degrees. Fortunately, there's a little bit of a breeze. 50. It does feel like 50. Fortunately, the humidity has dropped off since earlier this morning, but yeah, still very warm here in the stadium. With thanks to Port Macquarie Roller Derby League, the Break All Brawlers hosting this SmackDown Reloaded tournament.
And what a great venue they have for it here.
Yeah, even the upper seating in the Stan Lewis Memorial Gallery. It's a good vantage point for watching some great derby action as we have our first jam lineup. Betty Boom putting a hit on
Pie Curious straight off the line there. Pie Curious jamming for Maitland Roller Girls. She's straight through the pack, out for your lead, Jana.
Madam Mischief being sent off for a multiplayer block straight away, so it's not the way to start in the first second of the first jam. It's to start with a penalty. That's
comes through, grabs her points, calls it off quickly.
Yeah, so immediately Maitland are here to play some derby, score some points.
Putting their stamp on the game from the very first whistle.
Yeah, 4 points for them, nothing for the Sapphires in the first one. That jam was probably less than 30 seconds, so it could be a very quick one.
We have Phoenix lining up for the Maitland Roller Girls Junkyard Jerks.
And Kelvetica Bold for the Sapphires. Kelvetica Bold ducking right down onto her haunches for the start of this to get a big push through, and it paid off as she takes lead jammer.
Phoenix fighting away through the central coast wall at the pack there, gets herself through. It's about half a lap behind.
Helvetica Bold, being the captain for the Sapphires this weekend, dives through and calls it off quickly, taking 4 points. So it's once again knock for knock. We've got 4 points and nothing. Richie Slambora benching for Maitland Junkyard Jerks. Trent Sexual doing the likewise for the Sapphires.
And I have some ones on the jammer line for Maitland. I'm just not sure if it's 3 or 2 of them.
That's Kill It.
That's Kill It, sorry.
Kill It has got 3 ones. Up against Betty Boom, who scores double 8.
Kill It pushing away through the Central Coast blockers at the front of the pack there.
Betty Boom taking lead jammer though. Kill It chasing her hard round the apex.
Right on her tail.
Betty Boom deciding to call it off as Kill It takes a tumble out of a tomahawk. Quickly runs off the track in her embarrassment perhaps, but no, she's good to go again. Now it's Kimmy Kaboom on the jammer line for Junkyard Jerks and Helvetica Bold for the Sapphires. Kimmy Kaboom pushing hard against the wall there of the Sapphires. It's Helvetica Bold who's through for lead jammer position. Long way out in front.
Kimmy Kaboom pushing away through the pack there. 1 more to go.
Yeah, but still a defence by Prim and Bopper and Shazam holding her back. Still to complete an initial as Helvetica Bold is mixed up in the centre of the pack scoring points. Knocked down to the outside by DVS.
Kimmy Kaboom pushing through.
Helvetica Bold decides to jump just a little through the inside there on the apex. Decides to call it off there. Kimmy Kaboom unable to convert any points on that occasion.
We have Phoenix for Maitland Roller Girls in the OK Derby Butts penalty box. She's the lone skater, just being joined by Effin' Bitch.
So we have 11, that's Picurious on the jammer line for Junkyard Jets. Nice step through the inside, through the centre of the pack rather. Take lead jammer. White Wolf still caught at the back of the pack.
Phoenix coming around for her first scoring pass. Hits a wall of Central Coast.
Picurious through on a 4-point scoring pass. White Wolf approaching the back of the pack now on her first scoring pass. Picurious catching up quickly, not calling it off yet. She wants some more. Nice step round on the outside, taking 4 points there, and she's going to go for it again. She's not calling it off yet. White Wolf chasing it down hard, but she's basically a lap behind. It's 4 points apiece on this one. Dive through underneath the defence is Picurious. It's a nice move, ducking under the wall there.
Takes another 4 points.
White Wolf caught by the Junkyard Jerks defence at the front of the pack.
It's a solid line of defence there too.
Track cut for White Wolf now, so power jam in the last 30 seconds of this jam for Picurious.
Sorry, Picurious, yes.
Yep. Effin' Bitch chasing her right out to the front of the pack, and she has to yield. Wall is reformed by the Sapphires. Picurious comes around. Big hit into the inside, breaks through Prim and Bopper and jumping jack smash. Not an easy feat to take out both of those. And that's the end of that jam. So big scoring jam for both teams, I believe.
Well, it had been a very low-scoring game up until this point. I think it was 8 apiece before that jam. Scores now 26-15. That was a 22-point jam for the Central Coast Derby United.
7 points for the Junkyard Jerks, so not to be underscored.
A team timeout called here by the Junkyard Jerks. It's probably a good time to try to modify the momentum gained in that previous jam. And if Mike Mann, one of our normal 5x5 commentators, was here today, he would be ranting on about that right now, I can guarantee you.
Okay, so he's not here, so we're not going to say anything about it.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so how's the strategy going from both teams? Pretty much the same. Good solid defensive walls, leaving it to the jammers to push their way through. Pie Curious being very successful on the last jam. Betty Boom and also Helvetica Bold for the Sapphires, both showing they can do the same thing.
Yes,
so
certainly the first 4 jams of this game had been a very different story. They were much more controlled and very low scoring. It was all about that point minimization rather than chasing those points. Yeah,
interesting that it's flipped so suddenly, but I think the reason is both teams just finding their skates. I would say finding their feet, but their feet are in skates.
I think personally it's a opportunity thing. The stars aligned on the track right then and there, the right skaters, the right jammer, the right situation, and they just managed to take advantage of everything they had offered to them in that jam, securing a load of points, 22 of them.
Sapphires, they usually start a little bit slower in their games. Not sure exactly why, but they're often the first couple of jams they trail. So, 4 jams down, and they've scored up 22 in the last jam. So that's probably about normal for them.
I mean, it's still only a 9-point differential here in Jam 5 of this game. We've since turned into an official timeout. We'll take the opportunity to thank Flash Ramps. If you need a ramp, grind box, rail, any of those kind of things for your backyard, your party, wedding, anything, get on to flashramps.com.au today. Check it out. They sell them, they hire them, they will deliver them anywhere in New South Wales and the ACT.
That's probably a new business venture for Flash Ramps to go into ramp weddings.
Ramp weddings, I think so, yep. We have...
So Phoenix jamming for Maitland and Betty Boom jamming for Sapphires. Betty Boom taking lead jammer. Phoenix chasing her down, not much between them. Betty Boom slows before the Junkyard Jerks defence. She's dived through and decides to call it off before Phoenix catches up. It's 3 points for the Saffs and 1 for the Jerks.
So not only does Phoenix jam, she also owns a firearms license.
Really? This is one of the fascinating facts that we've been handed for this afternoon. Phoenix, what kind of a gun would Phoenix have? Shotgun?
Double barrel.
Double barrel, yeah. Yep. I can see Phoenix with a double barrel shotgun.
She does live on a farm. We should say that.
Yeah. All right, so it's Kill It, not to put too fine a point on that motive. Kill It now taking lead jammer for the Junkyard Jerks as Helvetica Bold sent to the penalty box.
For a blocking with the head.
Yeah, a bit of an unusual one there for a jammer, but anyway, she's in the penalty box for the duration.
Giving Kill It an opportunity to put some more points on the board here for the Junkyard Jerks. Kill It coming through the pack, passes the last block of 5 in the sky for Kill It, and she calls it off.
Helvetica Bold standing in the penalty box. Penalty box today sponsored by OK Derby Butts. Costumes by Kerry. Find them on Facebook. That's free shipping on all orders this weekend. That's good value, FTP.
Yes, it is, and Kerry was actually very disappointed she couldn't be here in person this weekend. Hence her offer of free shipping, and why she approached us to be on the stream because she couldn't be here herself.
Okay, well, great sponsor there from OK Derby Butts. As
And
we're
like
underway again, it's Kimmy Kaboom jamming for Maitland, and yeah, Helvetica Bold released from the penalty box, chasing down as well.
Kenny Kaboom with about a whole quarter of a track, heads over. I was trying to get you to.
Okay, so 3 points for MRG, 2 points for CCRDU on that one. Maitland extending the lead to 40 over the Sapphires 20.
It's a power start for Maitland.
Yeah, it's 11, so that's Picurious for Maitland being on track. Helvetica Bold sitting in the OK Derby Butts penalty box. Oh, big run in from Picurious into the CCRDU wall. Madam Mischief trying to chase her down to slow her a bit, but still ends up having to let her go. Helvetica Bold slicing her way through the centre of the pack to rejoin.
Picurious calls it off.
Maitland extending the lead with another 8 points out of that jam.
Bringing the score to 48, plays 20 here at the Port Macquarie Indoor Stadium, the Action Centre.
Yeah, momentum definitely coming into Maitland's favour at the moment. They are just building into quite a pace of scoring some points.
Definitely, and if it's that kind of pace that they keep up for the rest of the half, then they'll secure themselves a very solid lead going into the second half. We have a power jam for the Sapphires here.
Yeah, Betty Boom making full advantage of this, managing to get through on a scoring pass. That's 5 points. Have you noticed there's a lot of boom action out on the track at the moment? We have Betty Boom, we have Kimmy Kaboom. I think in the juniors game we had
a few booms.
We had another Kaboom. There's a lot of booming. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Betty Boom just getting instructions from her bench to keep going.
Picurious now chasing her down. Boom weaving through, engaging Killet, and Baroness von Brutal managing to get through and calling it off. 4 points for Maitland.
4 points for the Central Coast.
Actually, that was 14 out of that jam for Betty Boom, so good scoring pass for her.
Exactly what the Sapphires needed about this time.
Yeah, just to interrupt that momentum that I was talking about, FTP.
Yeah, again, the Sapphires doing that at this point in time, it keeps them well in the game. It keeps their headspace nice and focused on what they've got to do and not thinking about how far behind or ahead they are. They're in that comfortable area right now where it's you're not thinking about those things just yet.
That's right, as Helvetica Bold takes lead jammer, and it's Tornado chasing her down.
Tornado is another one to watch out for. She can drive a tractor.
Okay, so again, does she live on a farm?
Yes, she does.
Okay, so that's a reason behind this somewhat random fun facts.
Oh, actually, she grew up in the bush, not lives on a farm.
Okay, well, grew up in the bush, drives a tractor, lives on a farm, has a firearms license. All makes sense to me.
That was Phoenix for the firearms.
I know. I'm just saying, these junkyard jerks, they've given us these fun facts. I love them, but it all makes sense. So,
they do.
You know, we're not talking rubbish here like we normally do. This is real life, real derby.
Well, Beats is a goldsmith and has a forklift license. Oh, we're back on the track here.
It's Killet squaring off against Betty Boom.
Betty Boom
jammer
goes
on
down.
jammer action. Who's going to come out with lead? I think it's Betty Boom. Yeah, Kill It just slightly spaced by her own blocker.
And Betty Boone playing it safe there, calling it off. We have Kimmy Kaboom on the line now for the Junkyard Jerks.
Do we know what kind of license or anything about Kimmy Kaboom? Does she
I'll see what I can
drive,
find. Oh, I have
does
some
she
info on
drive an
Kaboom
Uzi
right
or
here.
something like that? Doesn't drive a semi-trailer,
No.
use an Uzi?
Kaboom's the complete opposite. She has every musical instrument possible to man.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. She's
However,
a music collector.
However, she does dance like Michael Jackson.
Well,
Which
whatever
isn't
the
very much,
moonwalking
right?
skills she has, it's certainly paying off as lead jammer at the moment, making light work of it. Chased down by White Wolf. Nice move through the centre of the pack there by Kimmy Kaboom and then calling it off. No points scored there by the Sapphires as Junkyard Jerks take 4 points. Going to give a shout out to Sydney Derby Skates, another one of our sponsors here for the SmackDown Reloaded tournament. They have the widest range at all the best brands, great customer service and super fast delivery. They achieve super fast delivery because they ship on the same day you place your order 9 times out of 10. So another great sponsor was Sydney Derby Skates. Helvetica Bold taking lead jammer for the Sapphires.
And Pie Curious sent to the penalty box for Maitland.
Okay, so power jam now for CCRDU. It's exactly what they need as they're trailing by just under 20 points. 5 points taken back by Helvetica Bold now, so that'll be 14 points, the deficit. She's looking for an assist off the back of Shazam. Shazam failing to give her that assist on this occasion. Nothing called there. Pie Curious standing.
Returning to the track.
And Helvetica Bold calling it off after 5 points. So it's 10 points there for the Sapphires. Now we have only 9 points in it. Three wall by the Sapphires, Red Tempest, White Wolf and Jugs. 4 wall from the Junkyard Jerks. Right on the jammer line as Tornado starts to engage front of the pack. She's through first, taking lead jammer, but closely followed by Betty Boone. Jammer on jammer action coming up. Betty Boone can't catch Tornado.
There's only a hair between them.
Yeah, very close. She's going to hit and quit it. She's held up in the pack. Betty Boom also right at the back.
Both jammers fighting hard to get through the pack. They both get
Now
around
it's
that
jammer
pack
and
at about
jammer.
the same time.
Through at the same time, Tornado, who was lead, coming off second best. Tornado not calling it off, and now she decides to, so just as well. Otherwise, Betty Boom would have scored another round of points for each on that occasion.
And Director, that brings us to a 9-point game here. The Sapphire slowly creeping back, point by point, jam by jam, a little bit at a time.
Yeah, as I say, it's not unusual to see the Sapphires start a little bit slower and then build as they come into the second half.
Starting with one blocker for the Junkyard Jerks in the penalty box.
Now it's Prim and Bopper jamming for the Sapphires.
And Pie Curious for the Jerks. Pie Curious is out for your lead jammer.
Prim and Bopper also through on her initial, so she's got a bit of work to do to chase it down. It's almost half track.
Pie Curious comes up to the pack, steps around the first few blockers, makes it through and calls it off for 4 points.
As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, why am I getting so hot? And
you have a projector blowing on
I haven't realised that the lamp from the projector is exiting its hot fan directly into my face. So Haven't sat here before today, and yeah, just excuse me while I dribble into a puddle of sweat, that is.
We have Killer taking the line for the Jerks.
And Helvetica Bold for the Sapphires. Both jammers caught up in a big huddle of a pack. Baroness von Brutal recycling up to the front. Still engaging Helvetica Bold. She's desperately trying to push through. Went to the inside. She's got lead jammer. Baroness von Brutal thought she had her for a track cut, but no. Killer having hard work against jumping jack smash there. Helvetica Bold diving on her knees through as she meets the pack. DVS and Red Hot Riot putting up good defence on that occasion for Helvetica Bold. She got through to take 5 points. Killer on her way to the penalty box now. So power jam for the Sapphires. Helvetica Bold happy to keep going for the moment. Checking with the bench. Do I call it off? No, keep going. Madam Mischief on her way to the OK Derby Bums penalty box. And Helvetica sent to the outside, deciding to call it off. But she managed to complete that 5-point pass. So, yeah, look, that was a good one for Central Coast Roller Derby United. Hitting the front, 15 points, that's 66 to 64.
We have a lead change. Do you know what that means at home, folks?
What does that mean here? I don't know what that means for here.
I know what it means for home. That's a drink.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't mean one for here. I'm going to take a drink of water, put it that way.
You can do that. We'll grab a beer later on today. The action is here, back on the track. Killet has returned from the penalty box, probably with her kazoo. We'll get to that in a bit.
And yeah, Petty Boom has managed to get through to take the lead jammer position. Killet getting through with reasonably smooth opposition.
Still
Betty Boom pushing away past the blockers and calling it off, holding Jerks down for nothing. Sapphires banking 4 points.
So back to my point mid-jam there. So Killet carries a kazoo everywhere she goes in case she has to use it.
Okay, I'm going to ask a referee to check that at the beginning of the commencement of second half. We may have a
kazoo on the track.
A kazoo on the track. I'm gonna see whether they'll call that for a uniform infringement or yeah. I'm not sure how you would use a kazoo in the middle of a derby game.
She is also obsessed with pickles.
Oh, that explains it. Okay.
All right, we're in a team timeout here.
I'm
we'll take an opportunity.
I'm not going to try and explain any of that. Kazoo in the middle of a derby game, and your answer is, well, she's obsessed by pickles.
I'm just reading from my notes, Director. Just reading from my notes.
Okay. So going back on track now, we've got
I was going to thank Tavish Designs, actually. That's what I was going to do during this time out.
You do that. I'm just going to turn off my mic for a second.
For helping us out, for helping us put live streaming on for all of these events. You've been helping us for the last couple of rounds of 5x5 and into SmackDown. Really glad to have Tavish Designs on board for all your graphic designs needs. It is Derby owned and operated, so check them out today. You are, of course, watching Downunder Derby TV. I'm Flat Track Protocol. I'm here with the director.
And I'm back after fits of giggling. Okay, so White Wolf jamming for Sapphires and Kimmy Kaboom forcing her way through, take lead jammer position. White Wolf now through the pack, so it's a chase down again for Sapphire's jammer. Kaboom being told to speed it up.
Comes up to the back.
Comes up to the back. Yeah, is she going to hit and quit?
No, pushing through for points. Gets past two.
Jumping jack smash, Red Tempest and Madam Mischief forming a very solid through wall there. Unfortunately collapsing and allowing Kimmy Kaboom to get through. She's going to call it off for 4 points.
Brings us to a 2-point game, 68 for the Maitland Roller Girls, 73 points. Oh, it was a 2-point game a moment ago. Now a 5-point game, 73 points for the Sapphires. We've got about 8 minutes left in period 1. I'm really glad I'm not an official this weekend. Those guys are working really hard.
They always do. They always do. All our officials, and non-skating and skating, do a great job. Particularly in this heat and humidity. Everyone's looking forward for a dunking in the ocean after this. Is that Chopper Weed taking?
I think it is Chopper out with lead jammer.
The lead jammer, yep. Maitland. In the meantime, we don't have a jammer star on the track for the Sapphires. Yes, we do. Betty Boom was hidden from my vision momentarily.
Chopper's out with a 5-point natural grand slam. Bringing the scores to an even 73 here at the Port Macquarie Action Centre.
Chopper Weed taking the inside line, accelerating past F and Bitch.
Quick check up with her jammer ref to make sure that whistle wasn't for her. It wasn't, so on her way.
The moment Betty Boom and Chopper Weed going knock for knock. Chopper deciding to call it off now. She's just managed to, bank a couple more points there. It's 11 out of that one. 4 points to the Sapphires.
Still a very close game here, Director.
Yeah, I said at the beginning I thought it was going to be because, as I said, both these teams coming into the game off playing each other a few times now. Both teams actually had pretty good strength on their roster, so...
And a timeout called by the Sapphires here. Yes, as you're saying.
I was just saying that, the rosters both pretty full. No recent injuries for a few of the Sapphires and the Jerks. So they're hitting the track with a good, strong crew each.
It's certainly an interesting time to be part of a league like Maitland at that time of their development. Just founded last year, just getting into tournament play now. We're going to see a lot of things from them in the future. We'll see them at SmackDown. We'll be seeing them at other tournaments around the area.
Oh, for sure. I know they've been playing individual games around. Played recently against Port Macquarie. They're a growing league. They do a lot of promotion in their hometown of Maitland. You can follow them on Facebook, and quite often they're out there on the weekend spreading the Derby word.
Getting in and about their community, which a lot of us Derby people do.
Well, we do, but Maitland are very passionate about doing that, and it's grown their league, and now they're into playing tournaments, so credit to them.
I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of them in the future. Well, they're setting up on track again. We're about to get underway. 5 seconds is up, and we're underway.
Tornado ducking through to the inside and through as lead jammer. Nice move by her on the inside. Helvetica Bowl sent off for a forearm, so it's power jam now for Tornado and the Jerks.
Pushes past the front wall of Sapphire's blockers, comes out for her 4-point pass. Again for the second pass of this power jam. Past all but 1 or 2.
It's quite a fast jam, this one. Lots of forward movement through the pack. Tornado taking another 5 points for the Maitland crew, deciding to call it off after that one. So it's a power jam start for the Jerks with Bicurious taking the track. Helvetica Bold still she's standing now in the OK Derby Buttons penalty box. You may have heard us point out that OK Derby Butts is a sponsor of our penalty box this weekend. They avoid camel toe in the penalty box by getting in OK Derby butts. That's no camel toe hot pants. Costumes by Kerry. Pie Curious taking lead jammer for the MRG. And Helvetica Bold trailing as non-lead for CCRDU. So Power Jam now for the Sapphires as Pie Curious takes her seat in the OK Derby butts penalty box. Whoa, was that 12-12 from... It was Doris McGee putting a big hit there on Helvetica Bold, sending it to the outside of the track, but she's recovered quite quickly. And Doris McGee sent off her forearms as she was trying to break up the defence of Sapphires. Now Pie Curious back on track. Helvetica Bold taking through another 4 points on that pass, 5 points on that pass. Checking with the bench to call it off. She's not lead. This one's going a full 2 minutes. 4 points for Helvetica on that pass through. Pie Curious now taking 5 points on that pass. Helvetica keeps motioning as she wants to call it off, but she remembers that she can't. 4 points on that pass, so it's going knock for knock. 4 and 4, 5 and 5.
Still looks like Central Coast have accumulated more in this jam, though, in total.
Yeah, interesting. Helvetica Bold started in the penalty box, but Pie Curious sent off during that jam, so it definitely favour swung into Sapphires. So we've got MRG cracking 100 for the first time there at 101. 2 points in it for CCRDU.
So still a very close game here at the Port Macquarie Action Centre.
Yeah,
I
so
like that.
in,
Johnny gave me that one this morning. He's been calling it the Action Centre all morning.
Centre, yeah. One of our illustrious announcers come down from Brisbane, joining us currently on the house announcing. It's Johnny Smash from Brisbane. Thanks for coming down, Johnny.
A big shout out to all of Johnny's usual crew up in Brisbane, Video Bob and Honest Dave and everyone else who works on Downunder Derby TV coverage for South East Queensland. Thank you very much. We couldn't do nationwide coverage with just one team, so we...
Certainly not.
Yeah.
Great spirit of teamwork from Derby Downunder Derby TV, I'd rather. Okay, during this time out, I'm just going to take the opportunity to talk a little about the Central Coast Derby United. So for those of you who aren't too familiar, this new league was formed through an amalgamation of Central Coast Roller Girls based at Niagara Park on the Central Coast and Coastal Knockouts Roller Derby, who was based at Lake Haven on the Central Coast. So we had two Central Coast leagues that decided to merge together to form one, and it's really worked for Central Coast Roller Derby United. They've got both the Sapphires team playing today and of course the Valkyries playing earlier in SmackDown 2 weeks ago. So they've got a good strong lineup here, CCRDU, and for a new league formed out of two previous leagues, they've really gelled and made it work, so congratulations to them. As Kimmy Kaboom takes lead jammer position and Betty Boom trying to catch her up as non-lead jammer. Let me move into the picture here. FTP. Got to drop my microphone so you don't just think I'm talking into my hand. Okay, so now that we're on camera, let's see. This is a non-live streaming camera. It's just for posterity. So you can't see us at home just as well.
All of our cameras here right now are on the track, not on us announcers, which is a good thing.
It is a good thing. A very good thing.
No, we do have an
Mostly
announcer
from my
cam set up
perspective.
here, ready to go if it does get turned on at some point. But we're back to the action on the track.
Oh, big hit there. Madam Mischief on Tornado, and another one.
Tornado being recycled back to the back of the pack there.
Betty Boom taking lead jammer for the Sapphires.
Tornado now out. She's got some chasing to do to get back to the pack.
Betty Boom switching through quite easily there to take 4 points, deciding to call her off before Tornado meets the pack. And what does that mean, FTP?
Equal scored game.
That's it.
Do we drink or do we not drink?
We drink. If in doubt, drink.
My water's actually empty here at the moment. Yeah.
Get my water bottle out of shot. How about that? Okay, so Helvetica Bold trying to get through as lead jammer. Did she or didn't she? Yes, she did.
Picurious did seem to get out in front. I couldn't quite see past the whiteboard there as to what happened. They were very close together. So
yeah, and Helvetica Bold decides to call it off as Picurious just comes up to the back of the pack. She was letting the clock run down a little bit there, which is
down to 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and that is your half time.
It's half time. So look at the scores at half time.
103 plays 103. We have a tied game here at the Port Macquarie Action Centre going into half-time.
Did you say it was going to be close?
I said it was going to be close, and we can't get much closer than that.
Yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Half-time called. Stay tuned for some sponsors ads and come back for the second half of this very close game between CCRDU and MRG. Talk to you then.
Easy to maintain. Our high-end bearings are self-healing, and all of our bearings are easy to maintain.
The Sydney Dogs and Cats Home takes in over 4,000 homeless animals every year. The job of finding new owners can take up to several months, and upgrades to the pet enclosures are urgently needed. You can help by making a tax-deductible donation or adopting a pet yourself. Go to sydneydogsandcatshome.org to find out more and help give these animals what they need most, a loving home. This ad is sponsored in part by IAMS Pet Food.
Easy to clean. Our complete maintenance packages have everything you need to keep your bearings clean and keep you rolling. Better Bearings is value for money. All our bearings have an ABEX 7 rating or over, so you buy quality and you don't have to pay a fortune for it. At Better Bearings, we're all about better service. We know what we're talking about. If you've got problems, give us a call. Better Bearings are reliable and long-lasting. Spend less time mucking around with your gear and more time on the track. betterbearings.com.au.
Hi, I'm Susie from Sydney Derby Skates. We stock a wide range of products from all the best brands. Did you know that the Sydney Derby Skates website is up to date with stock levels and will only let you buy something if it's actually in stock? We pride ourselves on having awesome customer service and very quick delivery. Usually items are sent the very same day you place your order.
Easy to maintain. Our high-end bearings are self-healing, and all of our bearings are easy to maintain.
The Sydney Dogs and Cats Home takes in over 4,000 homeless animals every year. The job of finding new owners can take up to several months, and upgrades to the pet enclosures are urgently needed. You can help by making a tax-deductible donation or adopting a pet yourself. Go to sydneydogsandcatshome.org to find out more and help give these animals what they need most, a loving home. This ad is sponsored in part by IAMS Pet Food.
Easy to clean. Our complete maintenance packages have everything you need to keep your bearings clean and keep you rolling. Better Bearings is value for money. All our bearings have an ABEX 7 rating or over, so you buy quality and you don't have to pay a fortune for it. At Better Bearings, we're all about better service. We know what we're talking about. If you've got problems, give us a call. Better Bearings are reliable and long-lasting. Spend less time mucking around with your gear and more time on the track. betterbearings.com.au.
Hi, I'm Susie from Sydney Derby Skates. We stock a wide range of products from all the best brands. Did you know that the Sydney Derby Skates website is up to date with stock levels and will only let you buy something if it's actually in stock? We pride ourselves on having awesome customer service and very quick delivery. Usually items are sent the very same day you place your order.
Easy to maintain. Our high-end bearings are self-healing, and all of our bearings are easy to maintain.
The Sydney Dogs and Cats Home takes in over 4,000 homeless animals every year. The job of finding new owners can take up to several months, and upgrades to the pet enclosures are urgently needed. You can help by making a tax-deductible donation or adopting a pet yourself. Go to sydneydogsandcatshome.org to find out more and help give these animals what they need most, a loving home. This ad is sponsored in part by IAMS Pet Food.
Easy to clean. Our complete maintenance packages have everything you need to keep your bearings clean and keep you rolling. money. All our bearings have an ABEX 7 rating or over, so you buy quality, and you don't have to pay a fortune for it. At Better Bearings, we're all about better service. We know what we're talking about. If you've got problems, give us a call.
Okay, we're back. Half-time just winding up now. We're at Port Macquarie Sports
Action
Stadium.
Centre.
Action Centre. Sorry, I keep saying it wrong, don't I? It's Port
It is
Macquarie
actually the-
Action Centre.
It is the Port Macquarie Indoor Sports Stadium, I believe, is the correct title.
That's what I was calling it.
I know, but we've decided to call it the Action Centre today.
Oh, you shut me down again. Okay, so wherever on earth we are, it's somewhere near Port Macquarie, and we're in the second half of Central Coast Roller Derby United Sapphires playing against Maitland Roller Girls, the Junkyard Jerks, and at the moment, have a guess, it's 103 versus 103. We have a tied game coming back from half-time.
So we've just played 30 minutes of Derby to start right back where we were at the beginning. Equal
That's right,
scores.
equal scores, yeah. Let's have a look at the inside whiteboard there. Let's have a look at the penalties. Neither crew has anyone past the 4 penalties list. And that's a good sign going into the second half. As we have Prim and Bopper jamming for Sapphire, sent off for a track cut, as DVS jamming for the Junkyard Jerks, sent off for a track cut. So DVS sits down, Prim and Bopper sits down, DVS stands up, and
DBS returns to the track.
DVS returns to the track, and Prim and Bopper stands up and returns to the track. Did everyone get that? Cool.
A big shout out to any old Skateline Newcastle people watching from home today. I know there's a few of you because I plugged this stream in the Facebook group. DVS is a former Skateline Newcastle skater. That's where I first met her in my teens. So a big shout out for all of those skaters I used to skate with at Newcastle Skateline. Back to the action, Director.
Wow, she must have been really young when you met her, if you were in your teens. You left yourself wide open there. Sorry, FTP. Okay. Back on track now. DVS is again sitting in the Derby Butts penalty box, and Prim and Bopper being the only jammer on track. So it's a power jam, but we're going the full 2 minutes. There's still 30 seconds left in this jam. Prim and Bopper stumbling to her feet on the outside of the track. She's feeling a bit worse for wear after
DBS just
2
taking a
minutes of 2 minutes of Derby bashing.
And DBS just taking her second sit down for this jam.
Okay, and the jam clock runs down, so DVS still sitting in the penalty box. Will start there for the next jam. Prim and Bopper would have been glad to end that one over. She's got a bit of a shot to the knee, but I think she's going to be okay.
We are still on 103 plays, 103 here, so no further points added in jam 1 of period 2.
Yeah.
Betty Boom taking the jammer line for the Sapphires.
And start right up on the pivot line, so Betty Boom chasing Shazam through on the inside, but in fake to the outside. Junkyard Jerks seem to be across that move. Now she's through as lead jammer. Has a look around, get some track awareness. DVS is now released from the penalty box for the Jerks. Betty Boom sizing up the opposition as DVS skates through on the inside. Easy initial pass for her. Betty Boom fighting and getting through on the inside this time. Bit of disruption there from her Sapphire blockers. Helped her and decides to call it off after a 5-point pass.
Kimmy Kaboom takes the line for the Junkyard Jerks.
And Helvetica bowled for the Sapphires. So 2 weeks ago I asked you this question, AFTP, coming back from half-time in a similar close game.
I think this one might be a little bit closer, but...
Yes, well, undoubtedly it was 103 and 103, but the question still stands, what would the half-time chats have been about?
Would have been about keeping it calm, keeping it controlled, maintaining what they're doing, just bringing a little bit extra just to stay one step ahead. Both teams are playing very good derby out there today. It's amazing to watch. So if I was the benchy in that halftime talk, there wouldn't have been too much I would have been saying to do differently.
Yeah, so play our game. And keep the intensity going. I think both teams look like they're having fun with this bout.
Well, as you were saying earlier, they're
intense.
two teams who do know each other. They've played each other before.
Yep.
They're good friends.
Yeah, they are good friends. That's what derby breeds. Good derby breeds good derby friends. So, I think that is the case with these two teams. But, I think you're right. Let's keep the intensity up there. Let's play our game and let's score some points. That would have been pretty much it.
We have Chopper Weed pushing her way through the front of the Sapphires wall here. Both packs solid defence, both jammers fighting hard to get through.
Yeah, this is shades of the previous men's game that we saw with amazing defence and real trouble for both jammers, as it looks like both of them sent down in different hits. Betty Boom recycled to the back of the pack.
Chopper Weed not and gets through the front for lead. Jammer for Maitland. Chopper Weed coming up for a second scoring pass. Trips on her own team's skates.
Did she stay in? Yes, she
stayed in. Gets a 5-point natural grand slam.
Betty Boom having a hard time getting past Pie Curious. Chopper Weed coming through, looking from the inside. No, it doesn't work. Getting caught down there.
And Chopper Weed has been sent for a track cut.
Yeah, so now it's Power Jam for the remaining 43 seconds of this jam. No, Betty Boom also sent to the penalty box.
It's time for a low block, so we've got another jammer Jack in the box.
Okay, and she has to skate all the way around the outside of the track. Scarlett O'Hara, her jam referee, signalling that. So when she takes a seat, Chopper Weed will get released.
Chopper Weed is already standing. So it's going to be a mostly full 30-second penalty.
Only 5 seconds remaining on the jam clock though, so it's going to be a quick one. There it is, not even 5 seconds.
So Betty Boom starting the next jam in the OK Derby Butts penalty box. Don't forget that Costumes by Kerry has free shipping on all orders this weekend if you want some no camel toe hot pants.
And you can find her on Facebook, I believe.
You can.
Yeah.
Costumes by Kerry. Go search for it.
Pie Curious on the jammer line now for the Jerks. Full complement of Sapphire's blockers, going to try and make her life difficult. Multiplayer block called for jumping jack smash.
And Pie Curious easily gets through that front of the pack there now on her scoring pass. Good
opportunity for MRG to extend a lead. They only have 1 point in it at the moment. It's Betty Boom now released from the penalty box, back on track. Pie Curious taking 4 points. Betty Boom now sent off for the penalty box for the second time now, blocking with the head. So 5 points for Picurious as she comes around again.
Bringing her total for this jam to 9 points.
There's a minute left on the jam clock. Will she keep going or will she hit it and quit it? No, she's keep going and round the outside that time. Every time I say that, I sound like Malcolm McLaren.
Yeah.
Round the outside, round the outside. These Derby girls go round the outside. And Picurious now ducking on the inside.
Pushing against the front two. Sapphire's blockers, pushes away past. Multiplayer block awarded there to Jugs.
That's Jugs, so nice 5 points there for Picurious. Betty Boom now back on track for the third time in this jam.
Actually have a fun relevant fact about Jugs too. She's a big fan of the No Camel Shell hot pants.
Okay, I'm going to leave that. Okay, so
I know this because we are delivering a
shipment.
From our sponsor to one of the
Okay.
skaters here this weekend when the sponsor couldn't
right,
make it.
okay,
So
fantastic.
she was definitely on our list. She's one of the many customers of our lovely sponsor.
Fantastic. Great to hear. So it's Kimmy Kaboom jamming for Maitland and Kelvetica Bowl jamming for Central Coast.
This is certainly a lineup we've seen a few times this game, Director.
Yeah. And she's pushed through on the inside relatively easily there that time to take lead jammer. Kimmy Kaboom looks over her left shoulder to see where Kelvetica Bold is.
And it's only a quarter of a lap behind. Both jammers now approaching the pack.
Oh, Kelvetica Bold comes flying into the pack, managing to get 3 points there. Kimmy Kaboom calls it off all too
Also
late
3
there.
points.
3 points there, so... Yeah, it's still knock for knock, although Maitland managing to get a bit of a lead established at 140. Central Coast still at 112.
It still seems very much knock for knock. It's been a gradual increase each jam for Maitland in the last few jams. So it's while it is a almost 30-point lead they have now, it has been gradually accumulated.
Yeah, so Kelvetica Bold sent to the penalty box there at the end of that jam for a back block. So power jam for Chopper Weed and the Maitland Junkyard Jerks. Timeout called now by transsexual bench managing for Central Coast Sapphires, along with ably assisted by Karaoke, who did not want me to say her name on live streaming.
So Baroness, who's actually out on the track right now, she also has a kazoo in case of emergencies.
Oh, is that because of pickles as well? Doesn't say, yeah.
It doesn't say.
Crikey.
But she has been playing Derby since 2011.
Yeah, she's a very experienced Baroness.
So I first met Baroness in my days at Newcastle League, where I first came across Derby.
Yeah, right. Newcastle definitely being an epicentre of the early days of Derby. I want to ask about Chopper Weed. I think that's a great name. I love Uncle Chop Chop. Would that make her Auntie Chop Chop? I have to ask her after the game.
I think that's one to ask her.
Yeah, I'll ask her after the game because, yeah, that's a great name, Chopper Weed.
And one of the few Maitland skaters I don't have notes on.
Oh,
So we're going to have to make them up.
well, I just did. I just said she's Auntie Chop Chop.
All right, 5 seconds up from the jam timer. We're about to get back underway. Chopper Weed swirling off the start line. Hits the wall of Sapphire's blockers, pushes the way through for lead jammer.
Kelvetica Bold still sitting in the OK Derby butts. Penalty box. Chopper Weed rejoining on a scoring pass. Ducks her on the inside.
line.
That's a nice line. Decides to call it off. Kelvetica Bold still in the penalty box. So again, that's where she starts for the next jam.
Giving Maitland a chance for another power start, another quick 5 perhaps.
Yeah, could be. Get in there, hit it and quit it. It's 5 more points. They're at 145. Central Coast Roller Derby United on 112. They haven't scored in the last few jams. So the momentum definitely switching into the Jerks' favour.
So I think the winner of the halftime talk in this case might have been Maitland.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
have Kimmy Kaboom out for Lee Gemma for the Junkyard Jerks.
Yeah, looking very confident in her jamming role this game. Previous games perhaps less so, but certainly being very confident in her jamming at this game, this level. Helvetica Bold now back on track, struggling to form through an initial as Kimmy Kaboom takes a 5-point pass.
Decides to push on for the long jam. Helvetica Bold still on her initial pass.
Yeah, she's finding it tough work getting through, but I'd imagine she'd be trying not to incur any other penalty and end up in the box again.
She's up against a wall of concrete candy, and
Pike Curious is in there.
I think
Baroness.
Tornado might be too.
Yeah, they're all having a crack at her. This time, Kimmy Kaboom recycled to the back of the pack by Prim and Bopper. Helvetica Bold looking a bit worse for wear. Still with 40 seconds left on the clock. Kimmy Kaboom showing no signs of calling this off. Oh, a big hit there by Madam Mischief on Kimmy Kaboom, sends it to the floor, and that decided it for her. She said, oh, thanks for that. I'll have a break.
That's enough. I'm done. Yep.
Yeah, quite a big hit there from the shoulders of Madam Mischief. Helvetica Boom takes her seat in the bench and very happy to have the Jammer Star removed by Karaoke. That's twice I've said her name. She didn't want me to say it.
Chopper Weed taking the line for the Junkyard Jerks.
And is it Betty Boom again? Yes, it is. But before that jam starts, we're going to an official timeout for a track repair. T-Ref getting down on to do the deed on that occasion. We're good to go again. 5 seconds called by our jam timer. Chop Chop trying hard to get through Effin' Bitch and Red Tempest at the front of the pack. Meanwhile, Betty Boom takes lead jammer.
Chop still pushing through those Sapphire blockers. She is free of the pack now, not the lead jammer, and still pass behind.
Betty Boom now coming around for a scoring pass. No pack called, they have to yield. Betty Boom calls it off before Chopper Weed catches the pack. Very good timing there by Betty Boom to call it off, holding Maitland to only 2 points. That was the 2 points of the blockers not on track at the time. Prim and Bopper now jamming for Sapphires, and not sure who that is. Is it 13? 23, I think it's Silver Beats.
Silver Beats jamming for the first time for the Junkyard Jerks.
That's it. Met by a wall of Madam Mischief and White Wolf and Shazam. But she's through without too much drama, taking the lead jammer on the inside line. Have we got any fun facts about Silver Beats?
Yeah, Beats actually drives a forklift too.
Drives a forklift, and Silver Beats are good for you in some way. Whether this is iron?
She also plays the drums, and she's a goldsmith.
Plays the drums and a goldsmith.
I told you these
Awesome.
were random facts.
They're unreal. I love it. Can I just put a request out to any team who wants me to commentate for them?
And this goes
Happy
for me too.
Happy to, but with a proviso that you provide fun facts, because that's awesome. Oh no, but Silver Beats been called for a misconduct. Flying
It looks
into
like she made contact at the end of the jam there, did she?
I think that's what it's been called for. So, yeah, with Shazam losing a skate at the end of that jam, hobbling off the track, Silver Beats making her way around to the OK Derby Butts penalty box. Timeout called. What are we going for here?
Referees just ensuring that that penalty that was issued at the end of the jam has been acknowledged, I think. Silver
Okay.
Beats is now seated in the OK Derby Butts penalty box.
Yeah, how are we looking for penalties now, FTP?
The penalty board's still looking mostly clean. There's some blank
Is.
lines on there. There's no lines that are looking full.
No, there's a couple of skaters with 5, one on each team, I think. So, other than that, it's no one in danger.
No, but a few worries there nonetheless.
Helvetica Bold curled up by some good defence from Baroness von Brudel. Curious now engaging her at the front of the pack. What have we got? A Maitland Jammer not on the track at the moment.
Started in the
Silver
OK Derby
Beats,
Butts
that's
penalty
right.
box.
Yeah.
She is now standing there, and it is Silver Beats again.
Yeah, I'm sure Silver Beats will be good. Like, they've got iron in them or something, don't they? Silver Beat? A bit like spinach.
It is a form of spinach, so yes, must be full of iron.
Yeah.
A bit of Popeye.
A little bit of Popeye. Fantastic.
Both
Helvetica-
jammers.
Sorry, I was going to say Helvetica Bold finding it tough work there. The
Both
last
jammers
two,
finding it tough there.
yeah, it's Tornado and Curious just not giving in. Helvetica Bold struggling and struggling and struggling. Every time there's a gap, someone moves into it. Now they're joined by Concrete Candy. Front of the pack, just keep pushing and you get a no-pack call, but
Madam
they're
Mischief
just
just
not
a massive
yielding.
block there on Silver Beats, taking it down to the inside.
Yeah, Madam Mischief, well known for some big hit play. Yeah, this definitely the same sort of ilk.
And Silver
Gameplay.
Beats goes for a track cut.
Yeah, from the men's game earlier. Really hard and physical. Jammers finding it very, very difficult to get through and score points. Helvetica Bold now trying to catch her breath as she attacks this wall again. Madam Mischief trying to break them up a bit. Doing a good job there getting Concrete Candy out of the way. Star pass now for White Wolf from Helvetica Bold. Tried to chase it down, Curious, but that's the end of that one. Well, who scored what in that? Was that 0-0 after all?
I can see some jam rep fingers coming towards the scorekeepers next to us here, so I'm thinking there might be some points added for that jam.
Okay, some points, not
I
none
can see
points
2 or 3. 3 go up on the scoreboard.
for Maitland.
That brings it to 167 plays 116, so Maitland now securing their lead well into this mid part of the second half.
Yeah, we've got just over 11 and a half minutes remaining in the second half here. Betty Boom taking lead jammer. Be looking to reverse this trend of not many points going to the Sapphires.
Silver Beats returns to the track. Looks to pass the star.
Yeah, she's desperately trying to reach out to who is pivot for the Jerks at the moment. Red Hot Riot, I think it is.
Yes, it is Red Hot Riot.
I'm not sure that Red's aware that Silver Beach is trying to pass the star. She
No,
skated past her and now it's just a stash. She's looking to put it back on her helmet. Madam Mischief not even giving her the chance, knocking into the inside. And again, this time taking it down onto the floor. Madam Mischief just an absolute terror in defence at the moment. Betty Boom now back on track after a stint in the OK Derby Butts penalty box, skating around the outside unopposed.
So this jam will go to its natural conclusion. There's about 40 seconds left in it.
4 points there for the Sapphires. What is happening? Silver Beats going to the penalty box. That was
Without the star.
without the star, and I don't see Red Hot Riot with the star. Where is the star?
I can see Silver Beats pointing to the far end of the track.
So she's lost the jammer star. That's why she's gone to the penalty box. So Betty Boom just riding over the top of Killet there. She's through for another 5-point pass. She's tired, but she's still going. End of the jam just as Silver Beats came back on track. So don't see anyone claiming the star from anywhere, so...
Most stashy star stash ever.
Timeout being called by Maitland. Maybe they need to find it. I can see Kimmy Kaboom wearing one of their stars, but she wasn't the one on that jam.
And DBS is making funny faces at me from the penalty box.
Well, she doesn't know where the star is either. Okay, so we're still in timeout for Maitland.
We have a 42-point game now. The lead for Maitland's certainly been gradually drawn out as this half progresses.
Okay, so it's Helvetica Bold on the jammer line with Kimmy Kaboom. Both of them are wearing stars.
And we have a toe stop pivot line start. Oh no, it's just not quite on now. It was on a moment ago.
It's Concrete Candy for the Jerks. Kill It and Pie Curious starting on the pivot line with her. Jumping Jack Smash, Jugs, White Wolf and Shazam defending for the Sapphires. Kimmy Kaboom going through the centre. Yes, she's successful, taking lead jammer. Helvetica Bold.
And sent for a low block.
Oh, low block, yeah. I was wondering that as she came through the pack on the initial. Power jam for Helvetica Bold. Doesn't look real happy about it. From Transsexual, her bench manager. She just sort of went, oh, really? Okay. I think she's finding the pace a little bit tough here. She's measuring her attack on the Jerks as Pie Curious takes her down, perhaps winding her a little bit. She's back up on her feet.
Kimmy Kaboom returns to the track, pushes away against the Sapphires blockers at the back. Works away past 2. 3.
Kimmy Kaboom ducking around the outside there, takes the pass on her initial. Helvetica Bold still caught back by 4 blockers in front of her. Looking to do a star pass. Good cut off there by Concrete Candy, preventing her getting anywhere near White Wolf. Kimmy Kaboom in the meantime going through almost unchallenged. Jumping Jack Smash, only just managing to make some contact. 5-point pass for the Jerks. Actually calls it off. It's 172 Maitland Roller Girls over Central Coast Roller Derby United. 125, so I think it's starting to get away from the Sapphires here. 7.5 minutes remaining.
Chopper Weed once again taking the jammer line for the Junkyard Jerks.
Prim and Bopper back for another run at jammer.
Chopper Weed pushing against the front blockers of the pack. We've got Madam Mischief in there.
Effin' Bitch, Red Tempest. Now she's through. Take lead jammer. Prim and Bopper recycle to the very back of the pack. So it's a good start for this jam for Maitland. Chopper Weed dancing around. Does she get through on the inside, or was that a track cut?
It was a track cut.
It was a track cut. So power jam now for Prim and Bopper. She goes around on the outside. Nice move. Managing to stay in despite a challenge there by Red Hot Riot. Power jam for Prim and Bopper. Only 2 blockers on the track. Madam Mischief and Effin' Bitch going in to mix things up, allowing Prim and Bopper to get through unchallenged. Good play by the Sapphires. 5-point pass. Are they going to go again? Prim and Bopper attacks easy round the outside that time. Another 5 points. This is exactly what the Sapphires needed. Did they hear me say that it was getting away from them? 15 points so far for Prim and Bopper. She comes around again, easily through. That's nice for her. Taking that up to 20 points for this jam.
Chopper Weed returning to the track from the OK Derby Butts penalty box.
Prim and Bopper this time knocked down by, was it DVS? No. Not sure who that was. Chopper and Prim and Bopper caught on the outside of the track. Chopper playing defence now. Not as interested in getting through as a jammer. Effin Bitch putting her down just on the top of Prim and Bopper. Good jam there for the Sapphires. 20 points. Maitland not able to score in that one. Just questioning the score here. It was 23 points for the Sapphires. Didn't think they were that far behind, but now they're sitting on 151.
They were about... No, that's about right.
That's about right? Okay, my mistake. It does happen once in a while.
I know last time I looked up there, I went to calculate the score and got distracted by something else, and I was already into that 40s, 50s kind of area.
Okay,
so
right. Well, it's not over yet. We've got 4.5 minutes on the game clock. 25 points in it. We just saw a
3-point jam.
3-point jam, so yeah, anything can happen still to come.
Bear with us, folks at home. We have worked back-to-back games pretty much all day today.
Yeah, give us a break. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. Betty Boom taking lead jammer after last-ditch effort by Pike Curious. Now Chopper Weed is also through on her initial. Betty Boom looking to pick on the outside. Yeah, that's a nice move for her. Bounces off DVS. Betty Boom pushing away, decides to cut it off as she meets Pike Curious. Should have been, yes, 4 points.
3 go up on the board for the
go up for
Sapphires and
Sapphires.
2 for Maitland.
I mean, I guess that'll work, but I don't think they've got enough time to do it 1 point at a time. Need a power jam, the Sapphires. Maitland Roller Girls would be determined to not let that happen. Helvetica Bold took the track, but no reverse because Betty Boom sent to the OK Derby Butts penalty box. So it's Tornado starting with a power jam for the Maitland Junkyard Jerks.
Pushes the way around the front block as the packing gets out. She is your lead jammer.
Okay, so Maitland wanting to capitalise and absolutely endorse this lead they have. Tornado ducking through but stumbles at the very top of the pack, allowing the recycle to the front by Madam Mischief and another blocker I can't make out. Betty Boom back on track. Tornado calls it off after a 5-point pass. It was a good jam for Maitland. Managing to just make that lead a little bit more solid. 2 minutes left on the game clock. That's 2 minutes left on the game clock as I keep turning my head away from the microphone. Getting too excited, I'm losing my mic etiquette. Helvetica Bold on the jam line with Kimmy Kaboom. Kimmy Kaboom pushing through that wall of defence and taking lead jammer. Very strong play by her. Helvetica Bold now through the pack also, but she's got a third of a track deficit to try and make up. Kimmy Kaboom coming around for a 4-wall defence of the Sapphires. She's broken it up, cutting through onto the inside again without a track cut, I should say. Taking 4 points, Helvetica Bold sent to the outside of the track. Feeling a bit worse for wear after that one. Helvetica Bold now managing to get through to score three points. And Kimmy Kaboom recycled to the back of the pack by Prim and Bopper. We still have a lead. It's up to Kimmy Kaboom whether she wants to call it off. There's a big hit there on Helvetica Bold, but she's back up. Maitland allowing the game clock and jam clock to run down. It's a star pass though to Concrete Candy. Being careful not to incur a track cut. Prim and Bopper failure to reform, sent off to the OK Derby Butts penalty box. Gosh, I don't think there's much really being left in either tank of either crew. We're down into the last 10 seconds of this jam. The game clock is 0. Game clock is going to run down. Oh, sorry, jam clock is going to run down, and jam timer calls it off. That's the end of this one.
2 5-point scores are being held up by our jam refs here at the end of the game.
Yeah, so it looks like it was 9 points to the Maitland, 8 points for Central Coast Roller Derby.
Bringing us to an unofficial final of 192 plays, 162. Jam refs just finalising the last of the points.
No foul outs registered in that game, which is a credit to both teams, playing some good clean derby.
Is that the first game today that hasn't had one?
Hasn't had one, apart from I think some of the juniors. I think they didn't get through. They got through without it. Foul out, I believe. But yeah, look, both teams playing some good clean derby, both playing intense derby. Quite a physical, fast game.
Very close. Into
very
the
close
half,
all the way
into
through.
the second.
Maitland got away a bit there in the second half.
And Sapphires just couldn't keep them contained into that second half.
But then Sapphires closed it down to only 30 points in the end. So, again, they did a great job to do that. But so credit goes to them. But congratulations to Maitland. Junkyard Jerks taking out the win. 192 to 162 in their first game for SmackDown Reloaded.
Here on Downunder Derby TV, it's been an absolute pleasure calling this game with you, Director.
Thank you very much, FTP. Likewise. And stay tuned, everyone. We've got more great derby action coming up in about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.